Good morning. 5:15 is the time. Again, the Bay Bridge shut down. Our top story this morning. We've been following it all day, well, all weekend really, since Friday morning. And again, the bridge still shut down, so make no plans to use it today if you're crossing the water. On the left-hand side, a shot from Yerba Buena Island here. Caltrans camera showing you the upper deck here. That deck section right there in the middle of that shot there is the one they slid into place over the weekend. And on the right-hand side, that same shot, although from a different angle, this one down below on the island itself, looking up at the underside of the work being done. KRON 4's Yolia Sebas giving us that shot. We spoke to her live just in our last segment here, and we'll talk to her again coming up a little bit later on. In the meantime, we also want to follow the alternates that are out there for you if you want to get around and across the bay. KRON 4's Jackie Sissel actually live this morning from the San Mateo Bridge Toll Plaza, keeping an eye on how things are shaping up this morning. And Jackie, looks pretty light right now.
Yeah, it is pretty light right now, James. There's a steady flow of cars rolling through the toll plaza here at the San Mateo Bridge. Nothing like you would see on a normal commute day, but you talked about alternate routes. This is one of the busier alternate routes since the Bay Bridge is shut down. So I'm assuming that as the morning goes on, as the day goes on, as we go into evening and we get the evening commute tonight, we're probably going to see this really stack up. James?
No kidding. And of course, today's a holiday, so we're not going to expect the normal flow. But George was telling us earlier that folks coming back from the Labor Day weekend could very well jam up the Golden Gate Bridge and the San Mateo Bridge this evening. So we're going to keep our eye on it, keep you updated on the traffic patterns and the congestion that we're seeing out there. And we'll let you know minute by minute, not only on our broadcast, but on our website at KRON4.com. While we're talking about George, let's get over to the traffic center. He's standing by with a look at the rest of the traffic this morning. I shouldn't say commute since it's a holiday. Good morning, George.
Good morning, James. Right. We're not expecting a commute per se this morning, and I think for us it's going to be a pretty quiet ride around the Bay Area because it's so light there currently. All right, let's over to the Weather Center now. Here's Evelyn Taft.
And speaking of light, fog is pretty light this morning as well. Take a look, just a little patch right off the coast, but other cloud cover is back in the forecast. James?
All right, Ev, thank you much. Now for a quick update on those wildfires burning in Southern California, just north of Los Angeles. They are more than half contained. That's the good news. You see the graphic at the bottom of your screen, 51% containment. Crews are trying to keep the fire's eastern flank, though, from crossing Highway 39 out there in the San Gabriel Wilderness. And investigators also say that this is a case of arson. And they are analyzing clues there at the fire's point of origin. It has cost nearly $50 million to fight this fire. And again, we're only halfway through full containment on this thing. Two firefighters, as you know, have been killed on the job. And that, of course, brings in the possibility of murder charges for the person responsible for starting this fire. At least 76 homes have also been destroyed.
The thanks that they're being given is amazing. People are just, they can't even say enough to them about saving their homes, saving their lives, and they're just very appreciative. I mean, every single car, people are honking, waving, thumbs up. I mean, just so much excitement, and they just love, they're heroes to these people.
Now that, of course, a woman from the La Cañada Flint Ridge area where a lot of homes were saved, and she, of course, saying the community there really expressing their gratitude to the firefighters over the weekend. They say they want to thank the crews on the scene of the wildfire north of L.A. Meanwhile, crews do plan to light backfires in the area this morning to help destroy some of the fuel on the ground there if the weather isn't too dry and too hot. We'll keep you updated on their progress. All right, 5:21 the time. We've got to take another break, but we'll be back in a minute with more coverage now of the Bay Bridge shutdown. In fact, another live picture here. KRON 4's Yolia Sebas giving us this shot from Yerba Buena Island, looking up at the underside of the work being done there on the bridge. We'll have more on that section that's being worked on and the emergency repairs being done elsewhere on the bridge. We'll let you know if they're on time to open up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. They're not quite sure, but we'll keep you updated.
The Bay Bridge shutdown. Stay informed with KRON 4 News.
I'm the only person to be on this brand new section of the Bay Bridge.
Get the latest progress and more traffic reports on the impact in every newscast.
We had a hot spot on 580 westbound.
Valuable resources at KRON4.com. And tonight at 9, a special hour-long newscast dedicated to the Bay Bridge shutdown. Big coverage of the big story. KRON 4, the Bay Area's news station.
And we're back, 5:24 the time. The Bay Bridge shutdown, our top story this Labor Day morning, with a couple live pictures to show you here. On the left-hand side, an overhead shot looking down at the work being done there on that section of the bridge just before it meets the island. And again, all those flashing lights there on that new section that was installed on Saturday. And on the right, a shot from ground level there on Yerba Buena looking up at the work being done. And they did get a whole lot done over the weekend. In fact, KRON 4's Maureen Kelly was out there at the island and gives us an update now on what they've done so far.
The sparks began to fly around 8:30 Thursday night after the bridge was closed to traffic. Here you can see in this Caltrans video, demolition crews used saws and torches to cut through asphalt and the steel plates which hold the bridge together. This was all just prep work for Friday evening when Caltrans says they tackled the toughest part of the job. You're looking at sped up video of this 288-foot old double-decker section being extracted from the rest of the bridge. Workers suspended 150 feet in the air got this 3,200-ton section of the eastern span up off its concrete foundation and strong-armed it out. It was supposed to take 4 hours. They did it in half the time. Saturday morning began the slow and painstaking task of squeezing in the heavier 3,600-ton replacement piece. You can see that happening here in this time-lapse video. This is the half-mile detour that commuters will be driving on for the next 3 years. Crews couldn't just slide the section into place, partly because this piece is slightly curved. Instead, they had to start and stop this procedure several times. Using a giant hydraulic jacking system, they pivoted this enormous piece of our transportation puzzle until it was exactly where they wanted it. Then they inched it into place. Maureen Kelly, KRON 4 News.
All right, 5:26 the time. We've got to take another break. And as we do, we'll give you another image here of the Bay Bridge construction work. This one, a Caltrans camera mounted up high above, actually over top the work being done. You've got a bird's eye view here looking down on the deck surface there. Those floodlights shining it as they continue to install those expansion joints and really tidy things up and get it ready for tomorrow morning. We'll have more on this story and updates now on that new emergency repair being done on the other portion of the bridge in just a bit. Stay with us.